What's up, Devils? J-Dog back to knock out some more goddamn questions. And questions we're going over today are in the video posted 2 weeks ago. Burzum is not a sellout band, just a band run by a non-metal quote poser. 201 comments. It's probably got some fucking panties up in a bunch. I know them black metal fucking tough guys who are the least tough fucking people you ever meet. Sure they had something to say about it. Human Brisket, I'll take Pro Fanatica over Burzum any day. I 1,000% agree. I mean, is that even debatable? I mean, from image, from sound, from extremity, from lyrics, from everything, Pro Fanatica says burns them home on a fucking stretcher. Serpent of the Lights, best fucking user ID out there, brah brah. Yo, J-Dong, I've got a question. Do you ever get to a point with a band that for no real reason you just stop paying attention to? Yes, I do, actually. I stopped buying Deicide records after Scars, but it had nothing to do with the Hoffmans leaving. You know, it's a little weird that Deicide's that band for you just out the gate because your fucking user ID is Serpent of the Light, obviously from Deicide, so I figured that'd probably be your all-time favorite band, and, you know, theoretically, you're not going to stop checking out a band if that's your all-time favorite. Most of what they released afterward was good when I heard it, but I just don't have any interest in getting into it. Same thing with Cannibal. I love that the Wretched Spawn, but never really gave much after it my full attention, even though it's all still great death metal. Yeah, I definitely have that. I think a lot of people do. One of them that just crossed my mind because I actually listened to a later one. I guess it's not even that late. If not, I think it was 2010. I looked at it. A band like that was for me was the Crown, and I'm a huge fan of the Crown. But after Death Race King, no, not Death Race King, Crown and Terror, I kind of stopped paying attention. I picked up the album 13 because that was the album after Crown and Terror. I picked it up probably about a year after it came out. Liked it, but thought it was definitely not as good. And then I didn't listen to it for a few years. And then went back to, this is even better than I remember it. But all their later albums, didn't pay much attention to. Yeah, for no fucking reason. I picked one up here and there. Same like you said, it was a lot, but I thought it was all good. But I bring them up specifically because literally just last week I listened to it again. The Doomsday King. I own it on CD for sure, possibly an LP. I picked that up, I don't know, maybe a year or two after it came out. And I was looking at it, I was like, what year is this? I looked inside the booklet and it said 2010. I was like, oh, fuck, it's 12 years. God damn. But I listened, I'm like, it's good. I thought it was good, solid shit. Definitely not as good as Death Race King or the early, first two, the Crown of Thorns stuff. But it was a very solid, solid Crown album. I mean, good shit. But yeah, why I stopped paying attention, I don't even know. Just like, for example, like they have another album. Was it Death is the Beginning or something? And they have their latest album. I know Redefining Darkness is the cassette of it. I know that one I've never even heard, but that's already at least a year or two old. Never even heard it. But them, for example. But there's definitely a bunch of other bands. A lot of times with bands like Venom and shit like that, I'd stop paying attention because the general rule of thumb is whenever a band kind of put out an album that I did not like. So let's say you like the first three albums, right? And the fourth album comes out, and you didn't like it at all. You just stop there. You're like, all right, well, I guess they're done. They don't put anything else I like. There have been bands that come back and kind of like put something else out that you like. I find that to be kind of rare, generally speaking, when they kind of already go on the trajectory of fucking putting out records you don't like. They stay on that. So that goes, but I think a lot of people do that. They put out a record I don't like. I pretty much never go back to them. There's exceptions, and I went up and checked them out. But so Venom was kind of like that because I knew there was ones I didn't like, and just like, yeah, why listen to them? But what was it? The Fallen Angels. I said there was a couple songs. I think the reason I went and listened to that one is because when I saw them live, they played the song. I want to say it's called Hammerhead because I think it stood out because, well, one, I liked it, and two, I was like, fucking, that's an Overkill song, brah brahs. Fucking probably my favorite Overkill song too. So it's kind of like, well, I named it that, but of course they don't know that because just like all these old guys, they don't fucking listen to metal, right? So, speaking of that, I got to actually comment on that too. I just watched the video. I guess I may as well throw in this fucking this video while we're at it. But yeah, so I checked out that one, and I think it's Angels something, Fallen Angels or whatever the one has Hammerhead. You put in there. There's like two or so songs on there. But even after that, then I don't think I listened to any Venom albums after that because I know there's one or two after that. So them as well. But who else is a band I stopped paying attention to for no reason? Because the Crown, there was no reason. They never put out an album that I was like, I don't like this. I just literally just stopped paying attention to them. There's a good handful too. I'm drawing a blank. Who I just the Crown popped right in my mind because I literally just listened to it. And like you said, like when you go back, I'm like now kind of like I kind of have to disagree with you in the sense like now that I go listen to Crown, like recently, I did spark an interest. Like, man, I got to get those ones I'm missing. I was like, this Doomsday King was solid shit. I was like, I thoroughly entertained. I played in my car, and then I played it again in the shop, and then I played it again in my car. So 3 times within like 3 days, I played it. Because I wanted to get to because it was like a brand new listen when I listened to it again. Didn't remember any of the songs, and so kind of like the fucking drilled in there. I was like, I'm behind. God damn it, get to fucking know these tunes, and yeah, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, but anyways, anything I was gonna say about because for example, like Chronos covering well not Chrono, well Chronos is the only one on the original Venom lineup, but say have a song called Hammerhead. And not that you can't use it or that's just such a legendary title that no one would know, but of his era, Overkill. Why doesn't he know about the Overkill song? You know he doesn't. He'd flat out, I mean, that's not solid, definite proof, but it just goes back to what I said. These old fucking devils that do not listen to goddamn metal. I'm telling you, Kronos does not listen to fucking metal. Flat out doesn't. It's funny, I stumbled across a video 2 days ago. I thought about making a video about it, maybe doing a reaction to it or whatever. It was with Tom Warrior. I got to say, it's funny because I think it's the first time I ever heard even Tom Warrior speak, other than like maybe a live Celtic Frost bootleg recording or something like that, which I've heard, but I never actually saw an interview with him because I never really kind of cared because I figured out like, what am I going to like? I highly doubt this guy and I have anything in common. So what I'll say, the question they asked the guy is what he thought about the metal scene now, the modern metal scene, kind of like metal scene the last 30 years in a sense. I mean, paraphrasing, but what he thinks about the current metal scene. But I took it as from now to the last 30 goddamn years. And he's literally pretty much the epitome of what I've told you guys. Fucking these metal icons that don't listen to metal. Now, I will say this is I understood some of his points and agreed with him, and kind of on the same token had mentioned on this channel, like I get why some of these guys, this is all they like, X, Y, and Z, and why they do. But at the same token, like what his reaction was, like, so his response was he thinks that all the bands of today are just basically very overpolished, plugged directly in a computer, and let's play it exactly perfectly. And basically, it lacks character. I don't think he used those words, but that's what he was insinuating or getting at. Lacks character because it's not played from the heart. It doesn't have that same rawness, that just authentic sound slash feel. It's like it has to be played perfect, as opposed to if you listen to like something like Black Sabbath, it's not. He is correct in that sense. I get where he's coming from, but then he's also incorrect because it's like, yes, that is a very big trend, but I mean, again, what bands are you fucking listening to? Because that's generally kind of speaking like the bands that are getting bigger, quite frankly, whoever Triptychon's playing with, he's not playing with like good fucking underground shit. He's playing with crappy ass fucking commercial bands, some of which I may fucking like, but nonetheless, bigger tier bands. Maybe like, for example, Dismember. Larger bands, Cannibal Corpse, shit like that. But it's like, dude, there's still a fucking underground out there. He's using an excuse like, yeah, Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, though. Yay, every band that everybody else likes saying those, and like the heavy bands and shit like that. It's like, dude, again, I'm going to cut him some slack because he's in his 50s, but at the same time, I'm not. Because you figure the first Hellhammer demo, when was that? 82, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. 82. How old was he then? 16? Probably 18 max. So he was at the early forefront. Okay, he likes Sabbath and shit like that. I get it. Grew up on it, whatever. But dude, by the time other bands were coming out, it was right around your time or after. For example, does he like the first fucking Bathory? Does he like anything by Merciful Fate? Does he like Possess Seven Churches? Does he like Death, Scream, Bloody Gore? Did he like any of the other demos coming out? Bands like Insanity, Massacre. Did he like Carcass, Symphonies of Sickness? Did he like the Terrorizer demo rehearsals? Did he like Terrorizer World Downfall? And the thing is, did he like Repulsion, Horrified? Here's the thing. I don't know, but I would bet money he doesn't. Maybe Merciful Fate. I'll give him that. He probably listens to them. Maybe. But more than likely, probably. But does he like the first Bathory? I don't know. I never heard him say that he does. I've damn sure never seen him wearing a t-shirt or something. And based off how he was talking and the bands he was mentioning, he mentioned he likes 3 bands of modern times, which I haven't heard of. He said it was just like 70s influence. I'm like, oh, okay, great. You go back to fucking, you basically listen to what my dad likes. Point I'm getting at, though, I get with these older devils, they like what they grew up on and stuff like that. But here's the thing. If you were 16 to 18 around when you were doing Hellhammer, an underground metal project, these other bands, all those I just mentioned, up to even Symphonies of Sickness, Ultras of Madness, Abomination of Desolation, throw those in there too. What do you mean you don't like those? Because I was into fucking, I like heavy music and Extremity. That was a fresh, brand new sound when you were now 20, 21, 22. So like by 89, if he was, let's say he was 18 and fucking when he did this first Hellhammer demo, let's say it's 82. I got to be damn close with those numbers. I guarantee you something fucking around there. Okay, in 89, that's 7 years later. You were 25. You're still a fucking young kid, in my opinion, at 25. You're already burned out by 89. You don't like Symphonies of Sickness. You didn't like Recapitulation. You didn't like Ultras of Madness. You didn't like all the other shit I mentioned. All that stuff was original as fuck when it was first coming out. The death demos and stuff like that. So you can't give me that crap. It all sounds the same. You can't give me that crap. It didn't have character. You can't give me that crap. It's plugged directly in the computer. You can't give me that crap. It has no fucking character of its own and it was played perfectly. No, it wasn't. No, all that shit I mentioned. And that was of your time. It's like, I get it, a 50-year-old man at that time, like if it's your grandpa, 50 years old, and he's hearing, even Venom Welcome to Hell and shit, fucking Elvis was extreme when he was a kid. I get why he doesn't like it. But Tom Warrior, give me a fucking break, dude. You were still a kid. Basically, the vibe I get from him, he was burnt out by fucking age 20. That's seriously the vibe I get. I'm assuming he likes Venom, but the only thing, what was that magazine title? Was it the magazine? Was it him like, Venom's a bunch of brownies. Here's fucking Hellhammer. Quote the line if you know what I'm talking about, the exact thing. Or fuck Venom, they're brownies, something along those lines. I don't know if that was Tom that said that, but I'm gonna assume that he likes Venom. But again, that predates Hellhammer. So what I'm getting at is a lot of these devils is like they're never into metal music to begin with. You were into classic rock at best. Let's call it like it is. Black Sabbath, I do consider the first heavy metal band. But that doesn't count by any means. First off, it's borderline classic rock. It's in that same realm. You ask any guy who's 60 years old or older, like my dad and shit, who does not listen to metal, his exact words, I don't listen to that headbanging shit, that screaming demons, because he knows me and my brothers and shit listen to it, does not like it all. Black Sabbath, oh yeah, they're great. If you ask them, do you think Black Sabbath's a metal band? He's like, no, it's a fucking rock band. That's what he considered. That's what the guys at that time that grew up on it would consider it. And not to mention, even if they are, okay, heavy metal, that's like I said, that's what I consider them as well. Give me a fucking break, though, dude. Anybody could like that. My 90-year-old grandpa at this point can fucking appreciate Black Sabbath. So it's like, he's claiming, I like heavy, extreme music, but you don't. That's just it. You fucking don't. When you were creating Hellhammer and shit, Bathory, the first Bathory album, 2 years later, was just coming out. Did you even like that? Maybe he does. I'll give him that. I'd be very surprised about the Repulsion, Horrified, and just Cryptic Slaughter. That wasn't fucking original enough. That had no character. That was too polished. I mean, give me a fucking break. And I'm not throwing him under the bus. Well, I mean, I kind of am, but I'm using him as an example to describe to you devils, especially the younger ones, that probably are as oblivious to I was when I was age 16, 17, 18, probably started noticing it around age 18. When I'm literally meeting fucking Vader and shit, and I'm not even joking, like they kind of invite us on the tour bus when we're having to sign shit, but we turned it down. It was super fucking late. It was after the show. I had to go to school in the morning. Literally from the tourist buses, they're playing Leonard Skinner. That was my first introduction. I think I was 16 at the time. I think it was 2001, 16. And I'm just literally like, why the fuck are they listening to Leonard Skinner? Like what the fuck? This is a death metal band, blast drums, doc. I'm like, I figured, yeah, they're older, but I figured what they would be listening to is Possessed, Massacre, Death, those bands, Venom, Fate. What the fuck are they listening to Skinner for? Grant, I get it now, and I don't care. I'm not saying you're not allowed to like classic rock, but that's what I'm like, what the hell? That's what I noticed it. So that's what I'm trying to explain using Tom G as an example of what I stated previously. I was like, a lot of these old fucking metal icon guys, the Kronos, King Diamond, you think that guy listens to metal? Get the fuck out of here. He doesn't listen to metal. Fuck no, he don't. And you ever notice the bands he claims that he likes, the metal bands, he'll bring up Slayer, Metallica. Wow, fucking everybody and their mom. My fucking next door neighbor probably, he's at least heard of those bands. And not to mention, yeah, you're also friends with them, dude. That doesn't even fucking count. It's your buddies. Mention something a little bit more fucking impressive than that. Now, King, I kind of get more than Tom Warrior because at least he was never starting kind of what quote unquote extreme metal band. It was kind of more traditional heavy metal, as opposed to Hellhammer was kind of considered the forefront of, death metal and black metal and with the extreme image. And he claims, I like heavy, dark shit. No, you don't. At least not by anything you mentioned. Not one goddamn thing was heavy or extreme in the interview you mentioned. Not one. Zero. Zilch. So it kind of like, and again, I don't, first off, let's call it a fuck, because I know people are going to get their pussies up in a bunch, maybe even some of the older guys. I don't give a flying fuck. I could care less what the fucking guy listens to. I could care less if he listens to the Backstreet Boys and nothing else. All I'm saying is, we're talking about a scene and a music that I'm extremely passionate about, that's all I fucking listen to. Not that I'm the king or anything. It's just, we're in my fucking house, we're on my channel, I'm going to talk about it. So that's what I'm super passionate about. You get these fucking clowns that are basically looked at like, that they listen to the same thing, but they don't. But they say, yeah, I like heavy. When he's out and about or whatever, yeah, I play in a fucking metal band and metal's my life. It's like, but it's not, dude. Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden, that's not your, give me a fucking break. That's not your life. When 2 years later, the first Bathory comes out and you don't even listen to it. You don't even own it. You don't even like it. You know what I mean? And all the other, and even newer bands of outside, like, okay, I get why he doesn't like Cannibal Corpse, Suffocation, Deicide. I get that. But honestly, dude, Nunslaughter, Hell's and Holy Fire, Toxic Holocaust, Evil Never Dies, does that have no character? Is that plugged directly in an amp? Does that play perfectly? No, fuck no. Every checkbox on that should be up his alley. If he likes heavy extreme music like he claims to, Black Sabbath ain't heavy or extreme. Sorry to break it to you, brah. They're just flat out not. And I know his defense would be something like, well, they were at the time. I get that, man. But again, you were still super fucking young when you started Hellhammer and all these other shit I just mentioned. You were still young. Black Sabbath was heavy and extreme to the guy that was 45, 50 years old in literally the year 1970 when it came out. Because rock and roll and shit was still newer. And yes, things like Elvis and shit was considered extreme. So yes, by the time it hit Black Sabbath, you were fucking still playing with goddamn G.I. Joes at best, probably suck on your thumb in 1970. I don't know the exact year you were born, but it wasn't that much further before that. I mean, what is he? Let's say he's even 60 years old. What would that have been? He would have been born in 2022, 70, would have been 62. So yeah, if he's 60, which I don't even think he is, but he might be 60. By the year 1970, he was 8 when Sabbath was coming out. Don't give me this extreme shit, bro. Maybe you were even just started listening to music. You didn't know what the fuck was going on. You're playing with fucking goddamn toys and shit. Going to school. So when you were getting into music and you were still young, which in that age is that 16, 18, up to 25, you're still kicking ass. Fuck yeah, I got a full-time job. I can buy records. That's the person that's passionate about what they're doing. Not this fucking what you're saying. So yeah, those 80s albums, you should be a fucking fan of them. And I've never yet heard you mention one. So again, I'm just using Kronos as another example. Don't even need to hear the interview. But I just use him as an example because I brought it up on this channel before that these guys, so-and-so is the most metal guy. King Diamond's the most metal guy. I mean, Merciful Fate, King Diamond's one of my favorite bands of all time. And King Diamond, I love his vocals and shit. But don't tell me that he himself personally is this metal guy. He doesn't even fucking listen to metal. He flat out does not listen to metal. I'm telling you, he does not. And I've been saying this shit for years, and people are kind of like, I don't know about that, man. It's 100%, man. They don't fucking listen to metal. That's all I'm saying. But that was just when I saw that video. I'm like, this backs up everything I've been saying for the last 20 goddamn fucking years. And again, some of his points I understand, but at the same time, I got my points where I'm like, you just, honestly, man, your heart's just not in extreme music. That's what I see it. It's not. It's in the classic rock. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just calling it like it is. That's all. Just making a fucking point. Do whatever the fuck you want with that information. Well, I got one guy that was long-winded, huh? Didn't get too many questions. Get another goodie in here. If there is any fucking goodies. A lot of people just sticking up for Burzum and yada yada yada. Burzum's awesome. Okay, cool. Kenny, question: what is your favorite release by Disgorge Mexico? First two, flip a coin. Whether it be Chronic Corpora or Forensic. Love them both equally. Yeah, I honestly I go back and forth. I can never pick one, but definitely the first two. The others are good though too, but the first two are my favorite. Disguster666 die. Black metal elite is gonna kill me and burn my house down. Like that one, huh, brah brah? J Devil, what are your favorite October 31 songs? Powerhouse is an incredible tune. That's an awesome song, and about time someone brings up a good metal band that nobody brings up. Another one next to the fucking Lurking Corpse, which I saw a lot in the scripts. A lot of people checked them out and didn't even like them. Fucking whatever. Glad you at least checked them out. But October 31, go check them out too. King Folly. My favorite album is definitely Fire Awaits You. Favorite song, title track's good. Probably the Warlock. That's a really good. I love the fucking song Warlock. Probably that. You know what? It's kind of like a slow ballad love song too. I definitely do like the song A Million Goodbyes on there as well. I'm not a big fan of songs like that in general, but I don't know. Ever since day one, I enjoyed that song. I definitely did. You know what, Devils? I mean, yeah, it's probably a good thing I had that long fucking uh Tom G rant because there's barely any fucking questions on this one. It's just all comments and people comparing shit to Burzum and sewer vomit. J-Dog question. I couldn't help but notice your CD collection in the back. What CD what CD are the ones that are horizontal, not filled to the shelf? Oh, so you mean like stuff like this? Because I need to move the alphabet. It's just discs that are pulled. Either I listened to it and a new one came in, took its space in there. So I need to move the disc down in order to keep them alphabetized. So I just put them near the letter that they're supposed to go. So because that part of the shelf is full. So shuffle shit when I get time. You know what I mean? But usually I get fucking lazy about it. Usually 2-3 years later I do it when there's like 50 to 100 discs that fucking file in there. Kind of do it all at once because I'll at least still be able to find them because it's at least near very close to the letter. You know what I mean? So I think I'm gonna make that the last one. I think that pretty much knocks out this fucking video. People just talking about Burzum, see the movie, etc. Fark says metal sucks. Yeah, but likes Iron Maiden somewhere in time. You know, again, that guy's not in the fucking metal. I mean, do we even need to fucking that guy? There's no debate. Like, doesn't like metal, but I think he actually says that. So whatever. I'm just, and again, I don't give a fuck. I'm just pointing out. Sometimes people will point that out about Glenn Benton or something like that. Put it this way, I can guarantee you right now, Glenn Benton listens to more fucking metal than goddamn Tom Warrior does. I guarantee he fucking does. At least he knows Exorcist, says brought it up on Craig's channel, and SOD, Speak English or Die. Those are two fucking records. Does Tom G like those? Those are two more records. Character, plugged directly into the words are plugged directly in the computer, wasn't played perfectly. Pretty fucking jamming original goddamn songs to me, brah, brah. Didn't hear you mention those. So yeah. So I'd say, yeah, Glenn Benton is more into fucking metal than goddamn Tom G. Now, I don't think Glenn likes a lot of metal either. If I had to make a very, very educated guess, I highly doubt he's probably listening to Skinner on the fucking bike as well. Being more than likely he's doing. Yeah, we hit the bottom. So that is. So yeah, sweet. Knocked out this fucking video with all the questions. There's dick for questions in there. Anyways, that's it for this one, Devils. Put the questions, concerns, and what do you think? Did Tom G actually like heavy fucking music, dark music, extreme music, like he says and insinuates? I don't think he fucking does. Not that I give a fuck because I don't whatso fucking ever, but just put it in there. Just not my opinion. One of the older devils. I don't think he likes his shit. I don't know. And he was of the perfect age. I don't want to hear that crap. You should at least like Possessed Seven fucking Churches. You should at least like Screaming Bloody War. You should at least like the Death Mantis demos. Don't want to. Inexcusable. You weren't fucking 45 when those came out, and you're already burned out or like, oh, this is too extreme. Don't get it. I get those guys. You are of that age caliber, so don't give me that bullshit. Leave it in there, devils. See you in the next one. Later.